Hello everyone, welcome to today's special video. Today I will be reviewing a game I played with my student, but as I'm sure you can see, we have a special over-the-board live board review instead of the usual just live streamed computer screen, and that is to commemorate 500 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I've been doing this for I think about 5 years. I think even pre-pandemic maybe, so it might even be more than 5 years. It's been quite a while. So thank you all for subscribing and supporting the channel. So I'm testing this. I wanted to do something fun for 500 subscribers, so here this is. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. This is something that you enjoy. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the game. So my student, this was a student game. My student is 4Q, and we played 5 stones. So let's get into it. If you've seen my videos before, you know that in a handicap game, I like to get around the board. Basically as soon as possible. That can't happen every game, but you can see I'm trying to play in every quadrant. And then we get this attach, which this is a favorite attach of mine. Whenever my opponent has extended but hasn't kicked me when they pincer, so they just have the extension. And the point of this is basically asking what do you want to do? So if black just blocks, which black does in the game, I'm able to attach. And if black were to hane, I would be able to get this Atari. And black would basically have to connect, and then I would be able to get some sort of pincer and kind of view this as good enough. There's potentially co-shapes if I'm able to hane, and if black cuts, I've set up co-shapes. So I've created a potential base, or if I want to, I can just descend, and that's pretty comfortable as well. Compared to if I simply just pincer, then black could maybe kick first, and now we have a whole different game, but the stone feels a lot heavier. So I'm trying to see how black's going to play, because black can play this in different ways. Black can pull back, black can break the elephant eye, or black can hane. So it's really asking black, what do you want to do? And if we compare also to this variation where white attaches, normally you have to hane. Yeah, really just hane is the only move. But with this exchange here, you've made it so you can get this Atari next. So yeah, that's the idea with this attachment. And this is a go-to of mine. If you can master this, you'll do very well. So black blocks, and when I attach, black does something pretty strange. Because one, black pincered initially, and so black should really be trying to get some sort of strong attack on these stones. And so the best thing, by the way, for black is to break the shape. White will most likely connect. Hane. White will hane. And now the next move is very strange. And I'll explain why, and then I'll let you try to guess what the next move is. So white is threatening to Atari or hane. So if we prevent the Atari, then white can hane. And notice we're unable to block unless we want to fight a ko. But this would not be very good for black. Okay. Then how about I descend? That will prevent white from getting the hane. But then I'm able to Atari. And if I have to connect, then white gets very quick movement into the center. So the question is, how can I prevent white from getting this move and this move? And let me know in the comments if you guessed it right or not. And I realize there's no coordinates as well, so it might be a little harder to tell me. But just think about where you would play, I guess. Think about where you would play. The correct move is, and it's strange, but it's to play here. And the idea with this move is if white hanes, we're able to hane back. And if white blocks here, we're not in Atari anymore. We could, if we wanted, to cut. So, yeah, that's the idea with this move. It looks very strange, but it is actually the best move locally. But this is, if this were to happen, this is probably the best thing for black, because I can't make any ko shapes now. Black is still attacking me. So I can't really play a move I would like to play here when black can simply just run out. So, yeah, that's probably what the best thing black can do when white plays this attachment is to play here and then do that variation. What black does in the game, though, is ignore completely. The thing is, though, is we have an almost symmetrical position if we look at the board like this, right? But the board has changed now. The board looks like this now. So what's more important? The lower left or the upper left? And clearly here, the upper left is worth more. So I, Atari, and black does connect, and I'm able to descend. And so now the board has changed quite a bit compared to the variation I was just showing, because now black has a weak group here, and white is completely solid in the corner. And yeah, this is a locally very good result for white. Black needs to add a stone down here, but black has weakness here. Black still needs another move to settle or to finish off that upper left, and maybe even a couple moves. And so black does ignore. And I play elsewhere. Now, why I specifically played this spot, because it was a kind of a teaching game. It was partially to, compared to this one where I know my student knows the variations, trying something a little different. So the specifics here isn't super important, but yes, that is one further away than usual. And I think here, it would be okay if white just plays the first move on the bottom and then threatens to do something towards the corner, because when I went here, I actually like black's idea of extending here, because this does indirectly help this side. But I'm able to shoulder hit. So normally, whenever you get double approach like this, your main goal, and this isn't just in handicap, this is in even games too, your main goal is to keep these two separated and keep your stone out into the center. Because even if you can live on the inside, if you play something like this, the problem with playing in this kind of way is your group is stuck in the corner. It has no effect on the rest of the board, and white stones have effect everywhere else on the board. So this group is isolated. White stones are radiating power across the whole board. So that's why, however you play, you want to keep these two groups separated. So this is a very common move. Notice it's also the same move that you would play normally. So yeah, just a one space jump in this case is a shoulder hit. Play here. Shoulder hit. Black attaches. This is an interesting idea. I like it. And then after this, black pushes and cuts. And so we can see black's idea with the attachment is without this exchange, that stone can't be captured, the cutting stone. But with this exchange, black is actually threatening to capture this stone in some sort of ladder. So it's a very good exchange for black. So I descend. Black descends. Like so. Black hanes. Cut. And then black hane. So everything black did here was, for the most part, okay. Yeah, for the most part. We'll see. The thing is, though, even though these stones are for now captured, they have a lot of aji. A lot of aji. And that aji will, as you'll see, come back to haunt black. So, yeah, for now, though, I ask black, I go back to this corner to see how black's going to play. and black. And so the idea with this is if you play in the corner, now I'm able to hane here and potentially break through with Ataris like this. Now, immediately it probably wouldn't be so good, but that's kind of the Aji I'm looking at. That's the Aji I'm looking at. I'm basically probing to see how black's going to play. In the game, black plays here, and so I connect. Black hanes, and then we get a very important order of moves coming up. Peep first. Peep first, black has to connect, then we can hane, black cuts, and now later, I don't do it immediately, but later I can Atari here. So what was the important order of moves? The important order of moves was, if I don't do this exchange, and I Atari first, when I try to peep later, black doesn't have to respond in the same way. Black could maybe just play here. But when that cut is an Atari like it is now, when black goes here, now it's a lot riskier. There's a lot more bad Aji now. So yes, that's why it's better just to connect, or it's better for white to just peep first and then hane. And here, it's a tough choice, but I think black could just stand up. If white really wants to connect and create a weak group, that almost seems beneficial for black, doesn't it? So I think in some cases it's better to just kind of keep attacking the whole thing. When you play here, yes, you're capturing the stones, but as we see later, white gets Atari, white gets to extend. It's quite painful for black to capture. But now we get the attachment. So again, now I'm trying to use this Aji here while attacking this lower side. So black descends. We get extension. And then we get this Atari. Yeah, this Atari is pretty slow. This Atari is pretty slow. So in this case, let's ask ourselves, do we want to attack the top side or the upper left? In this case, the upper left is pretty indestructible. So we want to attack the top side, so we should cut here. The idea with this cut is if white extends, we will just Atari, maybe even Atari again, and connect. And now white's captured one stone and we're attacking the entire top. Okay, what if white just Atari's here? Well, then we're going to be able to capture this stone, and we are attacking this group from afar by playing towards this group. And we've even captured a stone, which means we have an eye now. So we're much stronger this way, and if white jumps out, then when we turn, we even have good follow-ups with this Atari. And if white simply just jumps up, then now we can extend up, and again, we're hurting, or not hurting, but we're limiting the potential of this group here. It's getting enclosed into the corner, and our group is now out into the center. So when you Atari just like this, it's just a little bit too slow. It's just a little bit too slow. Yeah, I even connect in the game. And black stands up, but I can jump out with black. So we can see this group isn't any more affected. Black doesn't have an eye. Black just kind of one line after the other. I didn't jump yet. I descended. And you can see this move here. This is why Tetsuji's like the Goblin's Nose is so valuable. And this is a move black really should have thought about playing for a little bit. Again, it's hard though when you have to juggle that corner, this corner. But getting this move limits the potential of these two stones by a lot because they only have two liberties. You have two liberties. But when white's able to descend here, they get 5 liberties, and liberties are freedom. So this group's in danger. There's a cut here, so this outside group's in danger. So you get the Goblin's Nose. When they only have 2 liberties, the movement is a lot more limited. Play there. A black Hanade, yep, because cut Atari, there's a lot of bad stuff on the outside, but white's able to extend. And so we get this variation in the corner. Black attaches. Here, white white could have avoided some complications if white had simply played here. Yeah, if white had played here, this would solve a lot of... It's not cataclysmic for white, but it would make things a lot simpler. This is the key point in the shape, and it's just hard for black to continue locally at this point. But after this, we get the capture. We get play in. White, of course, plays in. We get throw in. Slight mistake. I'm getting rid of my own inside liberties, but this is the case where I counted my liberties. So Atari. Connect. Play there. And then, of course, throw in. So the problem for black is, well, black can take first, but white has local threats. So where's white's co-threat? White plays here. Black extends up. Take. So now where's black's threat? Where is black's threat? So black simply just Hanes, which is okay, but here black can really build this bottom side. So I like black's idea there, but I think black should play a more direct move like this. White's going to take. I'll keep these on for now. And black's going to be able to pull back, and you can just see how weak the outside is. Even if, or how weak this group is. Even if white's going to live in the corner, this is a complete seal-in like so. There's no issues here. And if black wants to continue attacking, black can even play more into the corner like this and keep attacking the whole group. So black has some choices there, but I think black should play this kind of peep. Or even this Hane here. Because again, when black descends, black can attack the whole group. Black just Hanes, it's okay, but I end up taking. Like so. We see that's a pretty big gain for white, of course. But black does have some follow-up, so black Ataris connects. And now comes the big question. Where should black play here? Where should black play? So we can see black is building a big area here on the top. So black really should spend some move to help solidify it. Even if you just play, I like kind of maybe this kind of move. Or even if you're worried about these two stones, playing some sort of cap like this. I don't mind this. Now, I don't mind black's move either in the game. This is a very nice move, actually. But black's follow-ups are not the correct direction. So we see I bump once just to see how black plays. Of course, black answers. And then extend up. And that was the whole purpose of, because I could have, when the ko was going on, I could have played this move as my co-threat. But by tarring this way, I have created Aji now. So the question is, how should black continue? Black should continue by just giving up the two stones. Because whenever you're considering saving cutting stones, you have to ask yourself, what are the value of the stones I'm saving? So whenever you have a crosscut, you have two groups of stones. So if we look at these two groups of stones, they're both alive. White's definitely alive, black is 99% alive. So we're really fighting over two weak groups, one for white and one for black. In that case, we have to evaluate how much will these two stones get me if I save them. And so that's why black should just jump here. If white has to spend a move to save them, white's only gaining the two stones plus a few points. It's like 5 or 6 points. It's not that big. But in the game, when black saves them, that gives white momentum to jump here. And now that these are 3 stones instead of 2, they're a lot harder to give up. So you can see how big this area becomes just by giving up those 2. If black, and now even black has Sente. If black's worried about the expansion of this white corner, black could play a move like this. So black jumping here, or saving these stones, really helps white. And we can see when white jumps here, this is where these black stones are 99% alive. Because there's still Aji with these stones here. So black turns. I jump. And again, you can see white's shape is very nice and light here. Right there. Threatening to capture the 2, so white fixes. Black separates now, but this gives white momentum into the center. And so we can see how much black's top side is getting reduced. And what has black gotten in return? Black has gotten a weak group. And we can see how much white has gained simply by black saving the stones. So it wasn't necessarily white who played in a way to force black to do this. It was black's doing that made this position better for white. And black even adds a stone on the inside again and allows white to play here. But black has to save the 4. Now 5 stones. And so we get the Hane. So again, you can see how much white is now expanding into the center and into the rest of the board simply because black saved those 2 stones. So really evaluate the value of stones. If you can do that, you're going to learn the keys to when and when not to sacrifice. So black jumps here. And of course, I'm like, well, you're kind of floating. So I come in. Black pincers. White jumps out. Black jumps with, of course, and then we get another jump. Normally I would play a move like this. In this case I did not, because I actually wasn't super confident about killing this group. It's getting surrounded, but if black just takes some cash, might be giving black too much. So I just simply jump to be flexible. And black jumps with. And so, always, 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 if you can, get this 1 space jump against the black corners. Whether you get it here, whether you get it here, or even if black had jumped again, even if you get it here. Always, always, always try to seal your opponent into the corner. And that's what we see here. And black does something strange here. Black threatens to cut across, which is fine by itself, but black needs to cut. Black needs to cut. What black does in the game instead, though, is play here. And the problem with this is this stone becomes practically meaningless. It becomes meaningless. Because here, it could become a cutting stone. But like this, it's just a two Liberty stone right up against white's now thickness. So yeah, if black wanted to do anything, black should just attach like that. Yeah, so black there, like this. Black pulls back, and then white hanes. White hanes. And black has a few choices here. There's some bad aji in this corner that black needs to worry about, but black doesn't want to just fix. Yeah, black doesn't want to just fix because, again, it's basically accepting I'm going to get sealed into the corner if we get something like this. So black tries to hane, but white cuts, like so. Black gets the Atari, connect. White descends, like so. So the whole purpose of this, by the way, for white, like you might be like, what is white gaining here? Well, now white has created some aji. So for example, now this move for white is basically 100% sente now because it's threatening to capture this stone. So that means now, and this is what I do in the game, I can hit this weakness. Before any of that bottom side happened, if I played here now, black could just peep like this. And again, black would just be able to connect. And so if I have to do this, then black can just capture the stone I just played. So again, the main thing when you're attacking is playing on the side you don't want. So I played all these moves on this side because I really want to attack the right side there. So yeah, that's the whole idea. And so black plays here. I just push through. And black saves. This is a very peculiar move. Yeah, I'm not sure what black was intending with this move, basically. Because I just pushed through, and yeah, black just says, okay, I'm going to go elsewhere now. But the left side, or the right side, sorry, is so weak. It's so weak. And black even plays here. If black wanted to do anything, black should just Atari. Because again, this whole time, this Atari here is Sente for white anytime. So yeah, may as well just prevent that by either extending up or by Atarying. But by doing this, you're still letting white get that Atari potentially, which I do immediately. I do immediately, and then ask yourself, you're white, how would you attack that right side if you were white? Again, just think about it. I went here. This is threatening to separate this knight's move and takes away all of black's base. So it's super painful for black. That's why black should really either just keep trying to run out. Well, initially, and I kind of glazed by it, but black should just play here. Black should just play here. This is keeping black out into the center. Yeah, which is all black needs to do. But once you do this, and white gets to push through, you can see you're ever more slightly sealed in. But then black played here, I Atari'd, black connected, and then I played here. So another move black really should want to get is this one. Black doesn't have two eyes, but black definitely has one eye on the side here. Or at least starting to get two eyes. Or one eye, I mean. So, yes. So I play here. And so now black doesn't even have one eye and is starting to get surrounded. And this is true. All of this could have been avoided for black if black just did not save these two stones initially. Everything that has happened on this side of the board is because black saved the two stones. So do you see how by saving these two stones, it made the game harder for black, not easier? And so that's why sacrificing is such an important skill. And we can see how much has black gained in trying to save these stones. I'm having a hard time finding much. I guess black solidified the bottom a little bit, but yeah, you can basically see there's not much gain for black. So black attaches. So the idea with black's move here is black's hoping white plays in a way like this, and then capture. So then black can play here, and this is starting to give black one eye on the side if black can play here. So that's black's idea. White knows this though. So instead, white plays attachment. And we can see, and this is the power of if you just watch a lot of games, you will start to learn these kind of shapes. Shapes become almost habitual if you can study and watch a lot of games. So I've just seen this shape, believe it or not, so many times in my own games and stronger player games too. And so I just know that, okay, black, if you try to separate, okay, I can make a tiger's mouth. And if you connect, I can descend. And this is just a clean kill. It's just a clean kill. Black doesn't have enough liberties here. Push. Cuts. Atari. We can see it's 2 liberties to 3 liberties. So, yes. And all of white stones are perfectly placed. And this is where some players might say, oh, this is Dawn magic. No, it's really not. I can see where it looks like Dawn magic, but it's really not that, I don't want to say special, but it's really not that deep. It's just, white would not have done this if white didn't have this kind of shape here. Like, white wouldn't play in a way that doesn't work, basically. And so while it looks like, oh my goodness, white magically has these stones, no. White only played the initial move here on the second line because white has the stones nearby. So black peeps, and I can just connect. Because, again, if black tries to push through, this is an Atari. So black can't even connect. Or can't even connect and or cut me because of that Aji. So black peeps and comes out. And I can, because of some extra stones here, because of this stone and the 2 stones there, I can play at the 3-3 spot. And this 3-3 spot is very potent because it's threatening to pull out those 2 stones. And so if black blocks, I can turn. And black can't Hane because this becomes an Atari. And if black tries to play here, believe it or not, something like this would become somewhat of a semi-eye, but I think it'll be good for white. Like, you can't cut this way, but you can cut this way. Like so. Play there. Probably throw in now. Atari. Can't really fight this. Cut directly. We're going to get some sort of iron pillar here. Like so. Very common Tesuji. Throw in. Atari. And when white finishes with playing down, we can see black loses this semi-eye. So, and again, it's not magic that this works. This is just, part of it is intuition, I guess, but a lot of it is just knowing your shapes and knowing your Tesujis. Like, I cannot even begin to explain how many times I have seen this kind of peeping Aji like this. When white goes here, like how many times I've seen that. In fact, if I had pushed first and then black blocked, it's the same exact Aji over here, just I didn't push first. Because I don't have to in this case. So yeah, pretty cool. And what's nice about this is when black fixes, I can still do this Atari anytime, which means this group is still connected. So again, it's order of moves. If I Atari first, and then play the 3-3, right? Now do this. Now I can't save the 2 stones because now this is not an Atari anymore when I cut. But by saving that Aji, I can. So again, order of moves is so valuable. And unless you have a teacher or someone explaining it to you, it's also very hard to spot on your own. So, yes. So instead, I turn my attention back to the right side group. And I do the Atari now. Oh, sorry, a peep, and then right there, and then Atari. Like so. And then I can bump. So now black is completely sealed in. Like this. Atari. And then black plays here. And so we can see here, there are some moves that, if we look at the board, it's like, what were they doing? What was the point of this move, basically? For example, this extension here. Still not seeing how that was part of black's game plan. Another move, this move here. You can just see what was the purpose of that stone. And when we talk about the value of moves, you often hear people talk about efficiency and how you want your moves not just to do one thing or even 2 things, but as many things as possible. But we can see with these moves here, I don't even see them really doing one thing. And if they're not even doing one thing, especially in the context of a fight, that's pretty close to a pass at that stage. So yeah, basically in this fight, black passed twice. And what that means is white was able to capture stones here, take the corner, get thickness into the center, and now even reduce the left side. So I play there, black extends, and then I peep. And this just felt like, at the time I was like, yeah, black's going to not live here. Was basically my reading, but black actually found a pretty nice way to live here that I did not see. So I guess if I want to kill this, I needed to think a little harder on this. I needed to play here to kill this. Yeah. This looks like it's going to kill somehow. Because black, these two stones are still in danger. And so if black blocks here, I can just take out the shape with something like this. And I can still save the 2 or take out the eyes. If black plays something like this, though, I think the same kind of move works. If I just poke, yeah. Same kind of move works. So, yes. I did not see that, though, because I just thought, oh, yeah, my way's going to work. But black does a very smart thing. And although I'm not sure this first move was needed, so I Atari directly. Black extends. And then I Atari. And this is what I was reading, but then black went here. So that's when I was like, oh, okay, black's actually played. This was a nice sequence. Because now getting that Atari means that black can go here. Now, as it turns out, this is actually still a dead shape. And this is actually a, again, at the time, I just didn't even consider that it was. Because I was looking at that, I was like, okay, well, if I just push, there's no way for me to get rid of that last eye, right? There's an eye here and an eye there. But there is actually a way to. So again, think, and just let me know if you're able to find the move that I'm about to show. This is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So if we do this, if we push has to be the first right move, but if we do this and black goes here, then black's alive. I just need to ask myself, okay, what if we take black's key move? So instead, what if we go here? And yeah, this move, not once you see it, it's like, oh, that's so clear. But yeah, black has to cut the stone off, right? So black has to push here. And it looks like, well, if I just block, what am I getting, right? I just given black just a capture for no reason. And if I try to save, well, then I just lose 2 stones instead. But this is where now we can play here. And this is where capturing 2 stones isn't always an eye. And so if black captures 2, I can throw in. And so this would kill black. So yeah, there was a, and this stays onto the board for quite a bit actually. Again, once you see it, it's pretty clear. But yeah, I looked at the pushes and I was like, okay, that's alive. And so if white got that, it would be game over. But so instead, since white doesn't get that, it's actually a pretty close game, like within a handful of points. So yes. So instead of doing the killing blow on that group, instead, white plays here. You can just, as the board starts to fill up, that's kind of the last area of the board that's really starting to fill up. So white goes there. Black turns. I probably could have went there first, but my main goal was to expand the center a little bit. So Hane, black plays there. White blocks, of course. And black plays this pretty nice shoulder head, actually. I like it. We get the here. That's forcing. We get the descent. That's pretty big because, again, I'm viewing this as endgame. Again, it turns out there's a potentially dead group there, but yeah. I fix. This is to prevent the clamp is pretty big for black, or even the peep. I mean, if black played that the 2/2 spot like I did. Black descends. I just block because I have a Sente follow-up. Black saves. And again, these 2 stones aren't what's valuable. Like I could save these, but then black would get these kind of pushes in Sente, and then you can see actually gain quite a bit there. So instead I just push here. Like so. Black extends. And then I fix. And again, this is a very nice way to fix because not only is it fixing the cut, but also surrounds the center. And so you can start to see this center is starting to get quite large. And then black goes here. So this actually, not only is it a good endgame, but this actually fixes black's problem as well. So play here. And black just connects. So the problem with this move for black is by itself, that move is worth 0 points. But I think the reason why black played there is black's worried about Aji up top here. Maybe moves like this, which is Sente, in connection with maybe here. This is Sente-ish. Black's worried about some sort of semi on the inside, but we can just see Black has a lot of outside liberties and White does not. I think that's something Black was worried about at least. Otherwise, this peep here, or just connecting the peep, I mean, is just way too slow. It makes Black 0 points. If anything, Black should play here first. So Black connects though. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, even I forgot to add this on. So even more so, now this move isn't even Sente. So now this move is even makes less sense. So I get there, connect. Push. Play here. And this right here, this is where Black can Hane first. And the idea with Haneing first is, if White, it's a ko, right? It's definitely a ko, but here's the problem. If Black plays a ko threat, Black has some. Black has some. Like, I don't think White wants to ignore this one. Even though White gains a little bit there, it's not that big for Black to lose, because Black had no points there anyways, or even maybe this Hane here. This is pretty big. Maybe Hane here or Haneing here. That seems pretty big. Basically, Black should really try to fight this ko, because let's say White does answer one of these threats, right? Like this. The problem for White is, and White might be able to find some threats, which is maybe why Black didn't even bother, but the idea is Black doesn't need to win the ko by connecting. Black can now win the ko by capturing those 4 stones, which is quite big. When Black just connects like this and allows me to connect, I don't need to spend moves on the inside to capture these 3 stones. Whereas if Black even gets this exchange and then connects, now I still need to spend a move to capture. So I think Black should really try to get this Hane and fight the ko. Or Black could have done that Hane at any point as well. Black could have done that Hane in the last 20 moves, and it would have been Sente. So, yeah, even here, I'm pretty sure you can just Hane like this, because White has to answer. So, yeah. So this was White gaining a lot of points, actually, because now White doesn't need to spend moves on the inside, which is big. But yeah, the main crux of this game is over. And so I'll just kind of rush through the end game a little bit. But yeah, I think overall Black played very well. It first had to do, the main problems for Black in this game were handling this upper right corner, handling the upper right corner. Then when Black had to play ko threats, Black didn't play the best threat, or even when Black played a good threat, when White pulled out these 2 stones, Black didn't need to save them. Like, obviously anything could have happened, but for the most part, we can see Black, by saving these 2 stones, Black made 2 points. Whereas Black saving those 2 stones gave White the entire center. Now, again, I know that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but the point still stands. Because anything could have happened in the game. The point still stands that those 2 stones became a liability for Black. And so White was just able to attack, which that's what White wants in a handicap game as well. And yeah, that was basically the end of the game. Or not the end of the game, but let White have a comfortable position in the game. Here's a minor point here. So Black ends up going here, but if you look at this shape here, right, we have these 3 stones, or not 3 stones, but 5 stones with 3 liberties. Black pushes, but notice now owes a move still at this point. If black simply goes here, though, here's what's cool. If white plays here initially, if all these liberties get taken up somehow, like so, white will have to fix anyways. So white will have to play the same move anyways. So instead of playing the move black played in the game, black should just turn. Like right there. Because white has to play here anyways, but black has secured territory. Whereas when you play here and white plays here, you have not secured that 1 point. So 1 point difference. 1 point difference there. But yeah, the game is basically over. To do the game justice, so I will just continue on, but I will just let you listen to the clacks of the stones until the end of the game. And that is where the game finished. And the final score of this game, let me just really quickly double check, was white by 9.5 points. White by 9.5 points. So again, I kind of, before the go stones came in, I kind of explained where black went wrong, but just to reiterate, leaving this ko, not even the ko, but the aji of these 2 stones for too long was probably not the best idea. And then after the ko, trying to save these 2 stones instead of building this top was not the best choice. And then once black had a heavy group, black playing some peculiar moves like saving this stone and then playing this, must be this one, that wasn't really doing much, basically led to white taking all the points on the side and corner there and then the points in here. So yeah. But yeah, so that's the end of this review. Thank you all for watching. And again, thank you all for supporting me. And thank you for 500 subscribers. Again, if you like this kind of video and you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments. And also, if you do want to see more, let me know what I can improve as well. Because, again, this is my first time doing this kind of recording setup, so please let me know. But yeah, thank you all, and I'll see you all in the next video.